Hello, my friends. Dustin Davis here with everything you need to know about the Chiefs. Something has shifted in Kansas City, and the unease is unmistakable. The Chiefs organization finds itself navigating unfamiliar territory this year, grappling with internal friction and mounting questions about the path forward. Expectations collided with reality early, and the gap between what was promised and what has been delivered continues to widen with each passing week. What happens next remains uncertain. The talent exists, the leadership is proven, yet the answers feel just beyond reach, a puzzle that grows more complicated the longer it goes unsolved. Let's check and analyze everything the media says about Kansas City. First of all, let me take a moment to ask for your help. If you enjoy our videos, give us a like. It's a great way to keep the content going. Thanks for the support. Even a career milestone couldn't lift the mood surrounding Travis Kelce after Kansas City's latest defeat. The tight end posted impressive numbers, 9 receptions for 91 yards and a 21-yard touchdown, leading the team in receiving on a night when individual achievement felt hollow. The 22-19 road loss to Denver wasn't just another setback. It pushed Kansas City further from playoff contention and underscored the flaws that have plagued them all season. What should have been a moment to celebrate Kelce's personal achievement instead became another reminder of how far this team has fallen. The loss left Kansas City at 5-5 heading into Week 12, sitting in third place within a 4-team AFC West division they've controlled for the past 9 consecutive years. The slide began in Week 1 with the loss to the LA Chargers, and frustration among the fan base has intensified ever since. The gravity of the situation came through clearly on New Heights, Kelce's podcast, where he addressed the team's struggles on Wednesday with uncommon candor. His comments reflected the urgency now permeating the Chiefs' locker room. Kelce's podcast remarks reveal Arrowhead's internal tension. It's frustrating because it's gone to the point where we're 5-5. We're .50 going into the back end of the schedule here. We've got 7 games left and we basically got to run the table. I haven't been in this situation in a long time, man. And it's even more frustrating knowing the kind of guys we have, knowing the kind of talent we have, knowing the type of coaches that we have. Kelce didn't stop there. He challenged his teammates to look inward rather than assign blame to others. Everybody has got to look at themselves in the mirror. You can't sit around pointing fingers about whether it's somebody missing a block here, somebody missing a catch here, play calls, whatever you go into mentally when you're frustrated. You've got to kick that shit aside and think about how you're going to fucking attack the day. You've got to put all the selfish shit, all those things that you want for yourself aside, and it's just got to be about this team, about the guy next to you, and you've got to have fun, D. The schedule doesn't offer Kansas City any relief. Week 12 brings Indianapolis to Arrowhead, and the 8-2 Colts are coming off a bye week with one of the league's most dangerous offenses. Kelce emphasized that Kansas City must find a way to score points and support a defense that has consistently struggled. We've got a hell of a team coming in that's fired on all cylinders that looks like they're getting after everybody in the run game and pass game. We're going to have to put up fucking points if we want to help our defense. Last week, we didn't do that. This week, it's about time we put it together. We've seen what this train looks like when we're rocking and rolling and we're having fun, and we just need to get back to playing Chiefs football. Whether Kelce's public call for accountability will generate an immediate turnaround remains to be seen. The Colts arrive at Arrowhead on Sunday at 12 p.m. CT. While the offense searches for answers, questions are mounting about a defensive decision that's left many scratching their heads. Speculation surrounding Kalen Sanders reached fever peak, but Kansas City's front office never appeared seriously interested. What seemed like a natural reunion to many observers never came close to happening, raising questions about how the organization evaluates talent and constructs its roster. This isn't merely idle chatter about personnel moves. Given the shallow depth at defensive tackle and recent roster turnover, the decision to pass on Sanders invites a closer examination of the front office's player evaluations and overall strategy. After Jacksonville released Sanders following Week 10, he cleared waivers as a vested veteran once the trade deadline passed. Kansas City Kingdom widely expected a swift reunion, considering the team's needs along the interior defensive line. Yet Kansas City appeared to show little public interest. Reports on Monday indicated Sanders is set to sign with the New York Jets. Earlier reports identified multiple interested parties, but conspicuously left Kansas City off the list. Jordan Schultz named Indianapolis, Arizona, the New York Jets, and Baltimore among the organizations pursuing Sanders. Sanders' social media posts suggest Kansas City closed the door before he agreed to terms with New York. He posted, "Sorry y'all, I tried," and included phrases like, "If only the fans were the front office," and "maybe one day, though who knows." These statements support the notion that Sanders wanted to return but felt rejected by the front office. Considering his documented affection for the team and the city, his comments read like a direct response to being turned away, particularly given the reported interest from other franchises. If Kansas City genuinely declined to pursue Sanders, the rationale is difficult to understand given the lack of depth at defensive tackle. Does the front office truly believe Sanders wouldn't represent an upgrade over Derek Nottie? The Chiefs recently added Mike Pennell and immediately gave him rotation snaps at a level many observers considered superior to what Nottie has provided. Would Sanders have been willing to join the practice squad? He accepted such a role previously in Jacksonville. Kansas City also lost second-round pick Omar Norman-Lott to an injury that will sideline him through 2026. Beyond Chris Jones, the interior group relies on aging veterans whose contributions have been limited. If internal evaluations led to the decision not to pursue Sanders, that choice appears questionable from an external perspective. For now, the Chiefs have committed to the players who contributed to their past championships, and the front office is placing its trust in that group. They must now hope that Nottie, Pennell, and Jerry Tillery can hold up along the interior alongside Chris Jones. On the offensive side of the ball, another puzzling front office call has fans wondering what could have been at the trade deadline. Kansas City's 2025 season has transformed from effortless control to legitimate concern. At 5-5, the Chiefs find themselves excluded from playoff discussions and desperately seeking methods to jumpstart an offense that has sputtered when it matters most. One clear option at the trade deadline was Breece Hall, a versatile playmaker who could have reshaped Kansas City's offensive identity, but the front office chose not to pursue the deal. That decision carries significant implications for how the roster is built, how salary cap space is managed, and whether the organization is willing to invest in immediate upgrades. The Kansas City Chiefs look nothing like the squad that controlled recent campaigns. Positioned at 5-5 during the 2025 NFL season, they face an extended struggle and desperately need an offensive catalyst. That catalyst could have materialized before the deadline, but general manager Brett Veach chose not to complete the transaction. Kansas City was connected to New York Jets running back Breece Hall, yet the organization refused to surrender a third-round pick to bring him aboard. Hall is playing out the final year of his rookie deal with the Jets, and considering how his tenure with that franchise has developed, he's anticipated to test free agency next spring. That timeline would give Kansas City another chance to pursue him, though it might arrive too late to impact this season. Last week, ESPN analysts Ryan Fowler and Matt Bowen released a ranking of the top anticipated free agents for March. Hall landed at number 6, and Fowler outlined the type of contract that might be necessary to land him in Kansas City. Quote, Hall was coveted at the trade deadline. That the Jets wanted a third-round pick in return for a running back reminds that Hall has top-end talent. And my sense is he will do just fine in free agency. Think Josh Jacobs' 4-year, $48 million deal signed in March 2024 as a possibility. A few personnel evaluators thought that was a fair contract comp. That projection creates problems with approximately negative $30 million in projected cap space next year, according to SpotTrack. That price point may exceed Kansas City's immediate financial capabilities. Restructuring deals for Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and Jawan Taylor would create some flexibility, but not nearly enough to cover that amount. Kansas City could hypothetically structure a contract with most of the money pushed to later years to reduce the immediate hit, but that strategy would still strain an already tight budget. The organization had an opportunity to bring Hall in for a single season at a relatively modest cost and then negotiate a long-term extension after integrating him into the system, but it chose not to be aggressive. The Week 11 loss to the Denver Broncos illustrated exactly the type of contest where Hall's skill set could have changed the result for Andy Reid and his staff. Instead, the team depended on Kareem Hunt, a reliable, productive option, but not the explosive runner or complete three-down receiving weapon that Hall represents. For the first time in years, both the remainder of this season and the approaching offseason could prove unusually difficult for Kansas City. You can never count this organization out until time expires, but the failure to acquire Hall at the deadline appeared to be a significant error in judgment. Fowler's estimate of a substantial free agent contract for Hall only amplifies the criticism of Veach and the front office. With restricted cap flexibility and limited room to maneuver, addressing the issues that have emerged in Kansas City will present a difficult challenge. Elsewhere in the receiver room, a familiar name has resurfaced, and Kansas City is among the teams being linked to the veteran wideout. A veteran receiver recently cleared to rejoin the league has immediately generated speculation about potential destinations, and the Chiefs are among the teams being discussed. While depth chart considerations and scheme fit are relevant, the simple fact that Odell Beckham Jr. is back in the NFL conversation forces organizations to weigh immediate needs against long-term roster chemistry. For Kansas City, Baltimore, and Philadelphia, the evaluation differs. Available opportunities, current roster construction, and the potential to compete for a championship will dictate whether Beckham represents a practical target or merely another name circulating in speculation. An NFL analyst recently identified a veteran receiver now available who could attract attention from the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, and Philadelphia Eagles. That player is Odell Beckham Jr., who received reinstatement from the league this week following a 6-game suspension for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substance policy. Beckham now can sign with any franchise, and Bleacher Report's Julia Stumbach identified the Ravens, Eagles, and Chiefs as potential destinations. Quote, "The Chiefs receiving core is currently headlined by Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown. Beckham would also be competing for targets with Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Tyquan Thornton." Stumbach wrote about Kansas City. However, if any of those players were to miss time late in the season, the Chiefs might want an additional option available for the playoffs. Beckham's latest NFL performance came in 2024 with the Miami Dolphins, where he struggled and failed to produce at a level that would obviously improve Baltimore or Kansas City. Kansas City already employs a complete group of receivers, positioning them as the least probable of the three to take a chance on Beckham at this juncture. The Ravens face uncertainty with Marquise Brown's health following his injury, though it doesn't appear to be ending his season, and they still possess weapons like Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins to utilize while Brown heals. Among the three teams Stumbach mentioned, the Philadelphia Eagles seemed the most plausible destination for Beckham. Philadelphia offers the clearest route to playing time. Beckham could battle with Jahan Dotson for the third receiver position behind A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. The Eagles also provide Beckham with a more direct path to contending for a Super Bowl. However, if Beckham's primary goal is targets and receptions, Philadelphia might not be optimal. The Eagles already find it difficult to distribute sufficient opportunities to their top playmakers, and the WR3 position has generated only 10 catches for Dotson this season. We anticipate Beckham will finalize a contract with an NFL team in 2025, but the Eagles, Chiefs, and Ravens are less probable to sign him than numerous other clubs around the league. Would you want to see Odell Beckham Jr. in a Chiefs uniform at this point in his career? Does he still have enough left in the tank to help a playoff push, or would he just be another mouth to feed in an already crowded receiver room? Drop your thoughts below and let us know if you'd sign him. Before you go, hit that like and subscribe button. Be part of our community and stay updated. Let's keep Chiefs strong together. Catch you in the next one.